All right, welcome back. Moola News. Another beautiful day in paradise. You can see, kind of flip things around here. That way you can kind of see what the market literally is at as I'm going through these numbers with you today. We've got Bitcoin. We'll pull it up on the chart now too. This is going to be a weekly chart. And we've got Bitcoin just under 47,000. A little bit of a correction kind of starting off the trading week here as we've failed to really push above 50. And while back, when we were down in this 32 area, I said we would pop up into the 40s and kind of have a, kind of in between these two trading areas kind of gut check to see, hey, was our sell-off kind of real and we're going to follow through on the selling? Or was this just a minor correction in the bull trend and we're going to be off to the races? Now, there seem to be some pretty, big folks kind of saying that we're going to close the year at 85,000 roughly. But how we get there, who knows? We could get to 85,000 by dropping down to 15 in September or October, and then zooming back up to 85. Or we could have a massive breakout. Everybody's piling in, and we run up to 146, right about Thanksgiving, and pop back down and end the year at 85. So it's going to be interesting if that is the case, that we're going up to 85,000, but how are we going to get there? So one way to look at it is you just buy now and hold for that. I'm still looking out. Kind of right now the market's looking kind of iffy. I'm just not really confident that it's gonna break out. I'm kind of worried that we're gonna have a pretty big sell-off. That said, I look around at other cryptos, for example Matic, and on the one hand it's had this huge run up, so why wouldn't it correct back down again? But on the flip side, the recovery has looked pretty nice, and if it gets above this 174, it's kind of potentially off to the races again for Matic. Solana has already led the way with a huge breakout, popped over 100 just a little while ago. But it's come a long way. I bought this thing down around $1, sold it, sold a lot of it around 9, got back in around 13, shook a little bit around here, had some, puked some of it out, and we're still moving up. So market cap wise, I think all these look pretty good, but you just don't know what we're gonna end up with. So the biggest craze that's been going on is this move into NFTs, and we're getting the big dollar, the crypto punks going for like 350,000 or $1 million, and stuff like that. Seth Curry just bought a Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT for like $300,000. Basically, I think it's just kind of a hype game right now. Is people that are with a bunch of money are trying to hype it up and get some momentum behind the NFTs. But when you really go into it, and you've got to be on Ethereum, Ethereum has these $9 fees and $30 fees, when you're just doing like a $50 transaction or a $200 transaction, and it's just really not sustainable. I mean, you look at ETH versus Bitcoin, and it's right here at the 666 number, and it's been, it's come back to where it was in 2017, 2018, and honestly, it should really take off right now. It was one of the biggest and fastest retraces from 1800 up to 3100, but it's stalling out, and it makes me wonder, especially with Cardano taking off, is ETH just has some issues. They're trying to fix it. They come up with the layer 2 solutions, and ETH 2.0 and the hard forks and all this kind of stuff, and maybe they are going to straighten it all out, but it's just not going to be sustainable for people to mint their $20 item for $7 worth of gas fees, or people that just want to go play one of these new games like Crypto Blades and just want to put $100 or $200 in there and check out the game, but you got to pay like $10 worth of ETH fees and $15 worth of ETH fees. It's like, okay, yeah, you do that once, because you're just like, hey, I want to get in here and see what it's all about. But it's just not a sustainable model. So obviously, you go to OpenSea and you can start to move your ETH onto the Polygon platform, and same thing with Decentraland. You can move your ETH onto the Polygon and not have to pay the ETH fees, the gas fees on Ethereum. But just starts to make you wonder if this whole space is gonna, kind of be stuck in the mud for another couple of years while all this gets sorted out, or if Solana or one of these other, chains is gonna pick up the slack. So that's kind of what we got going on right now in the crypto space. Again, we've had a nice recovery, but we're kind of, in between, hey, are we going to be moving up, or are we going to go back down? And I think a lot of it comes down to these projects too, because as I've stated before, the names that we're looking at today could end up being completely worthless, in the future relative to what else might be coming out. So again, you look at Stacks, which potentially could help to turn Bitcoin into an Ethereum-like platform by, doing NFTs and things like that. Really should start taking off. And similar to Matic, if it gets up a little bit above here, it's never closed above 2, and that could be off to the races. Matic is in kind of a similar spot, if not better spot, kind of maybe ready for a huge breakout. Binance has a possibility to replace Ethereum, but it's got the regulatory overhang, because the U.S. is always kind of like, are they going to drop the gauntlet on Binance and try and shut them down someday? So, the lid's a little bit on Binance. And that really just comes back to the whole space too, is how kind of the elites, more or less, for lack of a better word, really want to control this whole space. And they thought they had it all wrapped up in ETH, and that's why, ETH has just been the go-to. But now they're just like, hey, where are we going to go with this now? Because maybe ETH is not the long-term solution. And so then are they going to back ADA? But ADA maybe isn't much better on a lot of these things. It's just maybe not ready for prime time. And then the elites, are they going to just quote-unquote let it go to the free market? Probably not. And that's why they're just going to pump kind of the chains that they want pumped. So, what else do we got going on? Let's look at Dogecoin, I always like to call it. I really see a big risk of a huge pullback, but this has, become kind of a gateway drug, so to speak, for trying to hype people to get involved in crypto. So, could continue to move higher. Whatever you do, just be aware that things like Dogecoin that are at 28 cents today could easily go back down to like this 2 cent area. I mean, they could just have a big crash and rally back. You just gotta be eyes wide open to the risks out there, as I'm always saying. So, hey, appreciate y'all. Moola News. Let me know any comments or questions. Have a great day.